Okay, so welcome to the Bendigo Tech Schools live stream. Now this is an interesting one, so the reason why I'm a little bit delayed, I've got an excuse every time, but the reason why I'm a little bit delayed on this one is I have a tricky bit of a setup here because I need to use my camera on my laptop for Character Animator to work. I had to kind of cheat a little bit. So you may have remembered I did a stream last week about how to use your phone as a webcam, because webcams are ridiculously expensive at the moment. So that's what I'm using. I've just plugged in my iPhone and that is working as my webcam, which is why I look so beautiful today as well. So just remember that trick. I'll keep reminding people how to do it. So basically you just plug in your phone to your computer, free piece of software and an app on your phone, and you're ready to go. And iPhone or Android. So that's what I'm using now. Anyway, let's get into it. Now I had a couple of questions about today's session. So I'm going to just get rid of this screen because you don't need to see that. And now you can see this screen. So, hey, look at that. It's following my face. And we'll talk about how this is working in a second. Hey, look at that. There's like 3 Daniels today. There's a little Daniel here. There's a Daniel in the corner. And there's like plain face Daniel. Look, if I blink, it works. Anyway, we'll talk about how I got this working. So, character, and I'm looking at 2 screens too. So when I kind of turn my head off from this screen, it's going to lose that head tracking, which we'll talk about in a minute. So, just Mr. Roland was asking if this is part of the Creative Suite. Now, it is, and it isn't. I guess it's all going to depend on your school's Creative Suite account. So, there are, if you're a DT today, yeah, thanks, Paul. So, it depends on what account and what kind of CC license, I guess, that you're using. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the DET's license is, if it involves the entire Creative Suite. I'm sure Paul will let me know in a second. So some licenses might just have, Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, the main bunch, and they may not have the extended apps, because there are quite a lot of them. This is one of the extended apps that they have in that package. So double check and see what you've got. Even if you have got Creative Suite installed on your staff machine, there's probably a good chance that they haven't installed this one. Basically Character Animator by default. It's not, it's not one that's used a lot. I think not a lot of people know how to use it, I guess. So double check with your IT folks and see if you do have access to being able to use this one. Now, this is another program that's really kind of pushes my laptop a bit when I'm running so many things. I've got like 3 cameras going now, so there's a little bit of fan noise. That's my computer, sorry. So let me know how you go and if you can hear it okay. I've got my external mic kind of moved a bit across there, so hopefully it comes up all right. So Creative Suite, Creative Cloud, whatever they're calling it these days. This has it as part of that package, but you may need to double check that you have access to it. I know, for instance, Latrobe, the license we use, has access to this. We have the full package there. But yeah, if you don't, double check. And you may have it, but it may not be installed on your machine because it is a separate app. So let's get into it. So what we're looking at here is, this is called Character Animator. Now, you may remember Adobe Flash back in the day. It's pretty much dead now, I guess, but this is an offshoot of that Flash animation. Now, that's another program as well, Adobe Animate, that they have that you can use, but this one is called Character Animator. It's just for characters. That's what the main focus of this one is. And I might do, maybe after this next few weeks, I might do a video on Adobe's other animation software. Actually, while I'm talking about it, let me bring up, I've got my other screen. I'm just going to bring up this over here. And let's just go to Adobe CC Apps. Oh, sorry, I need to turn my external on. Adobe. I'm going to miss doing this. I'm going to stay at home forever, I think. I like this. I'm sure Robbie would love it too. Alright, so I'm just going to bring this up here, and I'm just going to go to Creative Cloud or Apps, and just show you what I'm talking about. I'll bring it across to my other screen. Now, I can't use my external screen for this stream, mainly because of the webcams sitting over here. I'm just going to go to Australia, and I'm just going to bring this tab across here. Alright, let's kind of increase that. Okay, so let's have a look at what we've got. I'm just going to go into, let's just go into all the apps. I just want to see if I can run you. I should just run you through them. No, I don't want to start my 3 trial. I just want to talk about it. Let's go forward. Okay, so obviously Photoshop, InDesign, Premiere, we've talked about that. Illustrator, we've talked about that. Adobe XD, we haven't. Adobe Acrobat, I don't know if we want to have a lesson on that later. That's about PDFs. So that's kind of like your main package. But then you've got other, I guess, other parts of that package as well. Okay. So again, I'm not sure exactly what your school one has. I just want to see if I can bring them all up. View all products, just so I can show you which ones that I'm talking about. So yeah, so Photoshop, Lightroom is for photo editing. Illustrator, InDesign, we've talked about those. Premiere Pro, we've talked about. Fresco, we haven't. After Effects, we might talk about that a little bit later, maybe in a couple of weeks. After Effects is a add-on to Premiere where you're doing special effects. So this is what I was talking about here. So Adobe Animate, okay, which was basically Adobe's Flash animation program, where you can do full animations. You can create TV shows and movies out of this. That is a bigger package, which I might do in a couple of weeks. But what we're looking at is Character Animator here, okay, which is all about 2D character animation, and it's a good fun one to get into animation. This is pretty powerful and you can do quite a lot. But I like Character Animator because it's really simple. It's really easy to get into, and you can still kind of learn the fundamentals of Flash. And kids they'll have a fun time doing it. So that's why I thought I would start our streams with Character Animator, and then maybe after we finish these next 2 weeks of streams, I'm sure I'll be doing more. We'll look at maybe Animate and a few others that are in here as well. So you can see there's quite a lot there. So anyway, that's enough of that. Let me just get rid of that. So this is Character Animator. Now, I guess the first thing you're seeing, I might just go down here. I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to go into, I always forget where they have the welcome. Okay, so here we go here. So when you start a new project, I'll just see if I can bring this window out a little bit. There we go. I'll try and bring my welcome screen up. There we go. So when you start a new project in Character Animator, now I'm using Character Animator 2019. Now this is one of the ones where I'm not using the latest version, mainly because 2020, the new version of it, it kind of got rid of a few things that I found students were really helpful for students, I should say. And also I noticed a lot of schools didn't have the, oh yes, so Mr. Rollins just let me know that the DET has a license. Cool. All right. So thank you, Mr. Roland. Here's my go-to. So if you are a DET school, you do have a license to it. But as Paul was saying in the chat there, you just need to get your admin to install it, because yeah, it's probably not part of that suite. Thanks, Paul. But yeah, so the 2019 version I'm sticking with because it's. Thanks, Paul. I noticed Paul's texting me now too, which is good because it's a lot quicker. So the 2019 version is the one that your students will use, and the one that I'm using now to link up with that, because I found the 2020 version got rid of a lot of stuff that I found really helpful. So when you start it for the first time, you'll kind of get this help screen here, this home screen, and it greets you with some puppets. Okay, so puppets are the animator, the character that you're going to use. Okay, so what you can do here, so you can use a bunch that are already there, and I'll show you how to edit these. Blank face is a really good one. I like blank face. I'll show you how to edit these so you can create your own. There's also a characterizer, and what that will do is, it's just using a bunch of filters, and it will scan your face, and then you make a whole bunch of facial expressions like A, E, I, O, U, and it kind of snaps those and takes photos of those, and then turns it into a character. So I'll show you that a little bit later. But what I'll do is, let me do Dr. Applesmith as an example. No, it's going to bring up that as well. Okay, so you'll find that this links into Photoshop quite a lot, and the reason why, once it kind of loads up, and this is where everything's going to come to a halt. There we go. All right, so if you can see now, I am this guy. I'm going to change my screen so you can see me. So what I'm doing is, now I haven't rigged my whole body yet, so it's just the kind of head movement here. Like if I blink, it blinks. If I open my mouth. Now this is using some claymations. This is the clay model. I'll see if I can zoom in here actually, so I can kind of, yeah, I can, cool. So I'll zoom out a little bit because you want to actually see this. So this is using like a clay model here, and you can see that it's kind of like transitioning between all of these different frames of that clay model. If I go into Photoshop, where's Photoshop? Photoshop's on my other screen. I'm going to bring that across. All right, so and still animating. So if I bring this across into Photoshop, you see what I'm actually using. This is really killing my computer at the moment. That's okay. Let's bring this across here. Okay, so you can see here, this is what it's using. So we have this image. It's a PNG image with a transparent background, and then down here in the head category here, and we're going to frontal. All right, you can see there's a whole bunch of different images in here. Okay. So what we have here is a whole bunch of different images. There's the nose, right? And you've got left eye, right eye. Some are turned on, some are turned off. So there's that left eye blinking. Okay. So what it is, how Character Animator works, is it basically has a Photoshop file or an Illustrator file. And within that file, there's a whole bunch of layers, and those layers are all the different parts of the face. So if I zoom in on this face, this is a very complex version, but you can see it. If I zoom in on this face, this is just a whole bunch of different images. So like I said, I can turn that nose on and off, okay? I can turn the eyelids on and off. But basically, you're drawing the face, and you're drawing key elements of that face. You know, eyelids, eyes, left pupil, right pupil, ears, eyebrows are important as well. Like if I go into the mouth, you've got the mouth there, and not just that, you have, so if I get rid of that one, there's the A, D, E, F. Alright, so you can see what it's doing here. It's just a whole bunch of different images, okay, for all the different vowels and all those kind of things, alright. And then this Photoshop file, or Illustrator file if you're using it, is then, this might take a second to come again, there we go, is then referenced here, and when I make all these changes, the camera is scanning my face, and if it sees my mouth as doing a it will then switch to that image, right? It's pretty cool. So let me just kind of bring this screen back down again. I'll enlarge this guy so you can kind of see what's going on. I'm going to bring him all the way back down. So if you have a look here, if I bring this up, all right, I'm going to reset my pose. There we go. So have a look at that, right? So I've done nothing fancy there. All I've done is I've set my rest pose. So your rest pose is like where your face is in the camera, okay? And notice how, even with my hands there, it does a pretty good job. And what the camera is doing, the camera is tracking me. I kind of look like some weird vampire, actually. The camera is tracking my face now, and you can see the little dots. It's not like, we're not talking like, you know, iPhone level of depth tracking here. It's pretty basic. But if I lift my eyebrows up and down, blink one eye, can I do one eye? I don't know if it does blinking. It definitely does two eyes blinking. Stick my mouth out. So it's tracking that. The camera data it's getting is then going, is he saying A, E, I, or O, U, or whatever it's going to be. And then, in Character Animator, all it's doing is just switching between those different images that you've already saved. So you have to draw all of the different facial expressions, draw all the different eyes, draw the eyebrows moving up and down. You have to draw all of that as separate layers, and then the software does the rest. It kind of just animates it all together, which is pretty cool. So it's pretty impressive. I kind of like it. It's a lot of fun. All right, so let me go back to new here. I'm just going to do a new project. All right, and I'm going to go back to what's new, and that's going to go over there. I'm just going to go back here, and I'm going to go into home, or to welcome, sorry. Cool, and we can see some of the options we have here. So I'm going to use the blank face for today. I'm going to open that up. All right, so I'll switch across to blank face, and this is just so I can show you how this works. This is the one we use with students quite a lot, actually. Okay, so now I'm in my blank face mode, and you can see this. I like blank face because it works, right, and it's really quick. So you can see again, it's mapped my face, and as I blink, it blinks. Again, it doesn't do winking. It's not doing one eye. It's doing eyebrows, okay? But it's got no ears, obviously, on this image. It only just has eyes, eyebrows, and a mouth. Okay, so pretty simple. And if I go into the properties here, you'll be able to see all of those different elements.
Dad,
Yeah, buddy?
where did you put that spaceship I bought for Chantal?
It's in your bag still.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, oh.
Sorry, it's just... You got it, buddy? Alright. Sorry, pause 1 second. Sorry? Apologies, we had a Lego emergency, we're back. Look at that, it even tracks my face from all the way over there. And notice how it's made, that's cool. My face is smaller, and as I get closer to the screen, it gets bigger. That's pretty cool. Anyway, sorry. So you can see, obviously, all of the different elements of that face, all right? And how it's basically transitioning between all of them. So if you go into Photoshop now, you can see here, these are all the elements that you need to create, okay? So when you have the blank face, you can choose to then kind of create your own version of it. So it's a really good guide to then create your own. All right. So this is a really good project with students if you want them to create a portrait. I think this is a really good segue into art as well. So if you've got potentially, you're trying to get your art teachers on board to do some STEM or maybe some ICT or something like that, this is a really good program to do that, because you can really kind of link it into the arts. Now, so much so that we did this with the Bendigo Art Gallery actually, and we used this as part of a portraiture session that they were doing. So they were doing a session on portraiture at the gallery, and the students were looking at portraits and those kind of things, and then they came in and did a portrait of themselves, and then they got that portrait that they had hand drawn or hand painted, they digitized it, so they scanned it in, they scanned all the separate elements, and then they put those elements in here, in these layers. So you don't have to draw in Photoshop or Illustrator, because that can be quite hard, but you could paint this, you could use any kind of images, textures, clay, and then take photos and bring those into Photoshop or Illustrator, and then use them as the layers that you use. So I think a really good, a really good way to bring, like I said, the arts into ICT, which is cool. So it's pretty simple to do. So let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to go into, now you notice all the layers are here. Only some are shown and some are not shown. It doesn't matter, but they all need to be there, okay, in the layer and also in those folders. That's super important, okay, that everything is there. So I'm just going to go to Eyebrow. I'm just going to show you how easy this is to do. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to zoom into my face and I'm going to draw another eyebrow. I'm sure if you've seen my eyebrows, they're pretty damn big. So let me go into brush, and you're going to make sure you're on that layer, all right? And I'm just going to draw a better eyebrow. All right, let's bring it on. Okay, let's draw my eyebrow here. So I'm just kind of like painting this with the brush. Let me go into smudge. Let me do some smudges. All right, let's make it really kind of crazy, right? So again, you don't have to be painting this. You can just take a photo. You can do it out of clay. You've got so many options on how you're going to create this face, as long as it is in the right hierarchy within that Photoshop file. Okay, so blankface.psd for this instance. As long as it's in the right hierarchy here, it's going to work. All right, let's do that. Now I'm just going to use the dodge and burn tools. Let's give this eyebrow a little bit of some character. Alright. There we go. And I'll go into the burn tool to add some shadows over here. Alright. I'm just using the dodge and burn tool, by the way, so if you want to know what that is, that just kind of like darkens or lightens certain colours, but it's a real quick way to kind of make some colour changes here. There we go. Alright, there's my new eyebrow. Looks pretty darn amazing. So I'm just going to save this file now. Alright, and you can see I saved it in the left eyebrow there. If I get rid of that, it'll disappear. But now if I go back to Character Animator, give it a second. There we go. Isn't that cool? So now there's the eyebrow that I drew myself. So it's now sitting there. Alright, so as long as it is in that hierarchy, the software, the Character Animator software, will automatically apply it to the face, and away you go. So that's where blank face is really handy for an example. It's so freaky looking at the red dots. Blank face is really handy as an example project to use, because students can really easily take that and then draw over it and create their own thing, right? So if we head back, let's do the second eyebrow. So again, you can see I've got left and right eyebrow. Now obviously it's mirrored, so even though this is on the right side of my screen, it's the left eyebrow in the layers. That's one that our students always get a little bit mixed up. So what I'm going to do here, just to save myself some time, is I'm just going to go into left eyebrow, copy that, go into right eyebrow, paste that. Now you notice it pasted it above the right eyebrow layer. You actually want it in that layer, right? So if you paste in Photoshop, it creates a new layer. Okay, so what we can do though, is it doesn't matter, is I'm going to delete that layer because I pasted it twice. So there's layer 2 there. Alright, I'm just going to change that around. So I'm going to right click, free transform and reflect, or flip, I should say. There we go, hit enter, and I'm going to move it here. Okay, so there's my my right eyebrow. Now you can see here, it's not in that layer called right eyebrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this, as in the actual layer, the name of the layer, not the content of the layer, and paste it in there, and then I'm going to delete that one. Okay, because it's the naming that's really important, okay? Because now that layer is called right eyebrow, it will now reference that, because that's how it works. It looks at the layer and the layer name. So I'm going to save that, and then head across to Character Animator, give it a second. Fair and same. And now I've got 2 eyebrows. Isn't that cute? Looking so good. I'll zoom in a little bit. Let's zoom into my face. There we go. So there you go. There's my 2 eyebrows. Okay. So pretty easy to do. Like I said, it's really quite quick. Thank you, Paul. I did make a good makeup artist. I know, they're beautiful. So that's all we need to do. Now, if we head back into Photoshop here, you can see there are all the elements there, left, right, all those kind of things as well. You have to do every individual... There we go, if I scroll down, every individual AEIOU, surprise, you know, all of those layers have to be done. Now, face background is the actual face. So if this is where I should have, I was going to get a picture of Mr. Roland and put that on here so I could be Mr. Roland, but, you know, that's probably against the law. So face background is this circle here, is this actual face here. Okay, so that's what you can draw as well. You can draw your own face. Now I'm going to do a terrible job on purpose because it's me. So I'm just going to get into the paint tool and I'm going to go... Oh, that would be my... I think it sounds like my wife is home. The dog will stop barking soon enough. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is... I'm just going to draw... I don't know. Kind of look like Bert, right? From Sesame Street. Now I'm just drawing over the original face background, so you can see the original is still there. So what I might do actually, just so it makes more sense, I might just... I'll get rid of that dotted line. Okay, and I'll go back to... paint tool, and I'm just going to draw a new face. And I'm trying to remember what Bert looked like. He was like that. Did he have the black hair on the... I'm just talking to myself now. Let's give him some hair. Wonderful. Alright, I have permission to use Mr. Roland's face. I'll do that. Well, I'll do that just for myself, Mr. Roland, just for, you know, when I'm lonely. Alright, I'm going to go back to yellow here. I'm going to go into the brush. And I'm going to... You can see where kids are going to like have a ball doing this, right? Like your students are going to love this. It's so easy to use. Potentially abuse. Alright, so there is my my little face. Now, this is pretty basic, this one here, but you can go in and you can animate ears, so I can have ears as a separate layer, you can have hats, you can have all that kind of stuff as well, the nose, which we haven't got here, but you can do all those kind of things, but this is just an intro, right? So it's just the basic stuff. So let's head back, give that a second, preparing scene, and there we go. There's, obviously black hair, you can't see it on, and that's a black background, it's actually a transparent background, so if I record this, you'll see the hair back on there as well. And you can see the history of what's going on there. So there you go. There's my face, right? Pretty cool. If I move back, it kind of goes back. If I move forward, it goes forward. And away you go. So pretty simple stuff to play around with. I could draw a whole body if I wanted to. And again, depending on what you're doing, you can start to add more into this. You can add, like you saw with those full bodies, you can add the bodies. So that's pretty easy, right? If we go into rig, okay, you can see here, this is the facial rig and everything that it's using, because you can move things around. So if I go into left eyebrow, you can actually see where that control is. So if I wanted to, I can kind of move it around, and I can move the control around as well. So that eyebrow will be up there. And here is the entire body and body rig. So if I select any of these elements here, okay, I'll just turn all of those off. These are all the elements that you can actually animate. All right, so the entire face is really easy to animate. And then you've got some rigs for the body. So if we move back, you can actually take the whole body in as well. So you can draw a whole body, and then you can use these points to animate too. So if you move your hands, if you move your legs around, you can actually, like, it's kind of like, I guess, green screening when you get the characters in that full kind of facial body rigs that they have. I mean, it's not as good as the cinema, right? But it's still pretty good. So you can tag every part of your character's body, and you can make that move. So if you have a camera further away and you tag those parts of the body, you can move around and animate, and it will animate as well. So it's real time. So, you know, students would have a lot of trouble doing keyframe, you know, animation for an entire body, but this helps them really get into it and animate and to move. You can see here as well, you can change different face angles. So again, this is quite a basic one, but we can move it around. So it'll track this part of your face, it'll track the side of your face. You can do quite a lot with it as you go through. So that is more advanced, clearly, but you have all of those options there as well to kind of play around with it. So there you go. So if I head back, I'm going to show you what I mean by this one here. I'm going to open the characterizer. Now, this sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. It's a bit iffy, so let's just see how we go.
Welcome to Characterizer.
Hey.
We're going to walk through a short process.
Whatever. Okay, so...
Look at the camera lens and make a neutral expression in 3, 2, 1. Close your eyes in 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes and smile in 3, 2, 1. Frown in 3, 2, 1. Make a surprised expression in 3, 2, 1. Repeat after me. Adobe.
Adobe.
Photoshop.
Photoshop.
Lightroom.
Lightroom.
Woo-hoo!
Woohoo! Cool, yeah. So you can see what it's done with that video file is it's captured all of my face, the frown, the smiles, and it's tried to get the vowels and the AEIOUs and all those kind of stuff by using those recordings I was doing. Now the camera, I'm just using my laptop camera, so the quality is pretty bad, and my room is not hugely lit here as well. So this is a better one to do, again, you know, with some better external camera gear and stuff like that. But we'll continue and see how.
Great job! Your characterizer capture is now being created.
Ooh, I'm
Your
excited.
next step is to pick a style to apply to your capture, and then adjust the settings.
Okie dokie. So it's now kind of combining all of that, so you can see where it's cut a lot of it off, right? So you need, obviously, some really good photos, some nice clean lighting for this to work. I think it's found my beard, obviously, was a bit dark, and it's kind of blended into the jacket, so it's lost half my face. But that's okay. And then you have all these characters to choose from, how you want it to look, or you can create a new style. I'm going to do this one. Let's see how I look here, because I think I'm Superman. Oh, good gosh. That's slightly frightening. Let's just do no style, because that's frightening. Oh... Ooh. Gosh, they're mostly just frightening, really. Ooh, I like that. Let's try this one. Okay, that's me. That's me all over. All right, so I'm going to generate that puppet. This is going to cause nightmares. Coolio. Okay, so now. There we go. So now, wow, that is freaky. So now what this is doing is this is kind of transitioning between all of those different photos it took of me and has created, wow, look at those eyebrows, and has tried to create a stylized puppet, but that's freaking me out. That's just frightening. But again, these are some things you can do with this program, so it is pretty impressive. All right, let's just go back to the start again. I'm going to kill that one. That was scary. And again, you can see some other preset animations and characters that are here. Some that are a lot better than others. Let's try... Oh, I like this one. Let's try Sticky. Oh, there's Sticky. Ah, Sticky. I'll head back here. Yay! There's Sticky. Sticky's cool. Now notice how Sticky has... If I turn my head... You can kind of see it turning. That's pretty cool. That's pretty wicked, right? You can do that. Now, I haven't got... Because it hasn't got my full... I don't know if I can get the body to work, actually. I might have to... see if I can try and get... Let's try that. So there's some pre-baked animations there as well. Let's see if I can turn that on. Just trying to see if I can... Yeah, I'll probably have to set that up a little bit later, so you can kind of turn on those arm animations, because you can manually do the arms as well. But there we go. That is really cool. That looks awesome as I move around. All right, so anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to end soon. So what we're going to do now is, obviously, you can record this, which is the main part. I do like being a stick person. So that is what we have down here. So I can record my scene. So let's record a really quick session. Now, again, I'm not sure how this is going to work as a live stream. I don't know if this is going to kind of kill it, but we'll find out. So I'm going to hit record. Cool, and now it's recording. So now I can do a bit of animation. I can move my head around. Welcome to the Bendigo. Ooh, that was cool. Welcome to the Bendigo Tech School. My name is Stickman. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but I am. Anyway, so there we go there, and I'll stop that recording. And then we have a recording. So now we've basically recorded that session, and we can then go in and start to do some animation to it. So if I go back into my... Ooh, wow, that's cool. So if I go back into my rig, you can go in here and you can start to play around with the scene. You can add backgrounds, you can animate individual elements. All right, I'm going to go see where my recording actually went to. Ooh, I can live stream. I want to live stream. All right, let's see if I can find that recording. I'll play it back. All right, let's play it back. There it is. Oh, okay, so I've got to go all the way back to the start. There we go. All right, so if I play that back, Cool. And now it's recording. So now I can do a little bit of animation. I can move my head around. Welcome to the Bendigo. Ooh, that was too cute. Welcome to the Bendigo Tech School. My name. Okay, I'm just entertaining myself right now. So you can see what you can do there. So you can scrub across here. There we go. That's what I wanted to find. You can scrub across here and you can see your recording. Alright, you can see the audio is recorded. You can see the lip sync that it's done. But you can also then go in and make some actual changes to the animation as well. So we can kind of go in and see this. Whoa, look at this. So I can go in, now the recording is done. Whoa, hello there. And I can now go in and I can animate, I can do keyframe animation and start to animate different parts of the body. And you'll notice how, I'll try and grab the leg. Let's go and grab the leg. No, I don't want to do the hands anymore. If I grab like the arm and pull it in and push it out, you notice how it bends at the arm because of those points in the rig that it's made. I just feel like I'm crucifying this poor person. There we go. Look this side. So there you go. So you can go in and change it as well. So if I zoom in the bottom here, I'm going to zoom down here. Oh, there it is. I'm going to zoom in here. There you go. So there is our scene there. You can see all of the different vowels it's recorded as it went through. We can change the background, we can animate that, we can put some stuff in there. The stuff I showed you yesterday in Premiere Pro, you know, that keyframing animation, we can do that with the background and we can move those around. So it's pretty cool, yeah? I can see like students loving this, just that next time they're doing a presentation. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat. The next time we do, next time students do, I don't know, maybe they're doing some kind of presentation for their school and they feel really, shy about standing up in front of everybody. Maybe they want to do this, right? They could create their own avatar. They could then record a hello, welcome to BSE. My name is Mr. Rowland. They could record a whole session and then they could play that back. I don't know. I think it's wicked cool. So there you go. So that is our introduction. Like I said, this is an intro. There's so much you can do here. I don't want to really show any more because it's going to like blow your minds in terms of just the complexity. So I reckon for this one, what I reckon you should do is download it if you haven't already got it, and just have a play. Just do File New and start. Right, super simple to get into it. So you remember that when we go, I'm just going to go back to start. When you pick a pre-baked one here, or there's if I just see more, that's going away on the screen. If you go on see more, what it'll do is it'll show you a whole bunch more. So there's a stack more that you can, I'll bring it across here so you can see. There's a stack more that you can download. There's like packs and all those kind of things. So there's a whole bunch of characters that you can download. Oh, Samurai Steve. I want Samurai Steve. He looks cute. I'm going to download it. Excuse me. So there's a whole bunch of other packs that you can download, obviously, and use those too. So that's where you have your sim, or you can use the ones that are here. And remember, again, once you start on your project, it'll bring up this blank Photoshop file that has all of the layers there, and then you can create all of those. So the blank face is a really good one for students to start because they have the Photoshop file already there, all the layers are there and named correctly, and then really all they have to do is go in and edit each layer. So go to left eyebrow and draw your own left eyebrow. Go to right, draw your own right, and then save that. Okay, and then it'll automatically come across into here, and away they go. So that's how I'd recommend you kind of get it into the students to use, is to use the blank face, edit that in Photoshop, make all the changes on the layers that are already there. Just make sure, of course, that they're in that layer. So it's very easy if I do like a new layer here, to not be in the right layer. So layer 1 is nothing in terms of character animator. It doesn't have that layer 1 there. It doesn't know what that is, right? So make sure you're in the right layer, make the change, save it, come back, and there it is there. Okay, so it's ready to go that way as well. So pretty simple. Open up the demo face, make changes to the layers that are already there by making sure, oops, I just moved that. By making sure you stay in the right layer or it'll be wrong. Remember that left, if it's a right eyebrow here, or left is right on the screen because it's mirrored, and that's it, and away you go. And then when you're in here, hit the record button and you can start making some recordings, and you can export those. So once you do up here, so scene obviously is, we can add new things to the scene. So if I do add to scene, we can go in here, and this layering here is all the different elements you can start bringing into your scene too. So there are different things in here as well. But then when you're ready to go, you just export this. All right, and you have a few options, so you can export it basically as a video. So I'm just going to go export. I haven't got Media Code to install. But yeah, basically file export, and what it'll do is it'll render this video file and it'll export it, and that's what you need to do. All right. So there you go. That is Character Animator. Let me head across to make sure everything is all right. We're all good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hey, it's a good one. Yeah, nice activity to blend students back into face-to-face learning. I kind of like that. Yeah, so it's kind of like, welcome to school. Here's a digital version of me at school. That's a good idea. I like it. Yeah, so that's a good activity. Yeah, so that's a really, really good activity to try out, Mr. Allen. I like that. Maybe you can record yourself while the students are back at school in the classroom, and you just play a video for them so they can kind of adjust back into that. So yeah, so have a play. See how you go with it. And yeah, I reckon it's a lot of good fun. Like I said, it is just a small part of that whole animation program. So this Character Animator will also plug into Adobe Animate. You can bring the files into there as well if you're doing some more animation. But that's it. So that's the intro to Character Animator. I hope you like it. It's kind of more of a fun one. Like I said, I enjoy it. I think it's really good to get the arts involved because of how much we're talking about portraiture and the face and those kind of things. I think a really easy way to get art involved that way. I also think it's a really easy way to get some tactile, hands-on learning into this program. So again, instead of maybe digitally drawing your face, you cut out bits of paper and you take photos of those. You could use some clay, you get some modelling clay, model your face, model the eyebrow. You could use Play-Doh to do that, right? Take photos of that, bring that into Photoshop, make those layers, and you have this really tactile face too. So you can really kind of combine a lot of elements into this to make a really kind of cool little workshop, I reckon. And if given time too, if you do this over the course of a term, a few weeks, especially your art teacher, I think a perfect one for the art teacher, they can start talking about portraiture, they can do some portraits, the students can do some painting, they might try some different media, and then they create a clay model, and then they go into the computer and they take photos and bring it in, so really combining everything together, bring their portraits to life, those kind of things. That would be cool. Or you could even, so what we did, is you could even get this, say, with augmented reality, which would be cool. So students do a portrait and they paint the portrait with paints. They then take photos of all of those elements. So the actual portrait, they've painted it and they've taken photos of that. They then brought that into Photoshop, made it all the layers. So now they have their portrait with all separate layers and mapped to their face. Then they go into Character Animator and they do like a, hello, I am your portrait, and they can talk and move around and they can film that. And then they get that film and they go into AR and they make it an AR program. And then what they can do is they can then, when people see their actual painting, right, they look at their painting through the camera and they use AR, they could then make the video that they recorded of their painting appear in front of the actual painting. They can bring their painting to life. Anyway, that would be really cool. So that's just an idea. You can take it. All right, so I'm going to end the stream there. So please have a go at Character Animator. I hope you do. Let me know how you go. Let me know how your faces go. In the meantime, I might make myself a little Mr. Roland just for myself. And I might put him all over the internet. So thank you again. Thank you again, Mr. Roland, for all your comments and helpful advice for other DET schools. So please read the comments. He's a helpful man. And I will see you all later. I will see you next time. Hey, what are we doing tomorrow? I should find out. Let's find out what we're doing tomorrow, because I always forget what we're doing. Bendigo Tech School. Remember, you've got to go to the Bendigo Tech School now the website anyway, to register, so you can get the link to watch this live, so you can see this live. I mean, why would you not want to see this live? Really, it's amazing. It's entertaining. So I'm going to see what I'm doing tomorrow, because I don't remember. I should remember because I'm doing it. Let's have a look. Tomorrow is Photoshop, classic. All right, so tomorrow we're doing Photoshop. So intro to Photoshop. So I know a lot of people have probably done that before, but a really good one if you know some other teachers at your schools that wanting to do Photoshop in terms of editing photos. Maybe even not just teachers, like maybe staff who do the school newsletter, those kind of fun things. Maybe let them know that we are doing a Photoshop session tomorrow, and they can jump to the Tech School website. I'm going to bring it across here. Pluggity plug. Jump to the Tech School website and click that link, and you will get the link to watch the video live, and you can ask me questions, which is great. And then after that, June 4 is the Inventor Masterclass. Now this is done with Matt, Superstar Matt. Now this is all using Autodesk Inventor. I've not used Autodesk Inventor for a very long time, so I'm going to tune into that one. This is a pre-recorded video, mainly because of the hoops you'll have to jump through to do this one live. So Matt's recorded a video for us, which is amazing, and I will have that link already probably tonight, actually. So when you click that link there, you'll be able to watch the link tonight. So we'll have that live, but you can also watch it at any time once you register. So I'll get that link ready now, and that's it. So that's the next couple of days. What do we have after that? We have block coding and Scratch on the Thursday. Oh, and then Friday we have video editing. Oh, it's a busy day.